Hey, we're here for game two. My opponent is probably going to play first. That would make most sense. But hopefully he doesn't have a turn one Llanowar War Elves, because that's really what bothers us the most. On the draw, this is a pretty awkward hand, but I don't want to go to five. I think this deck is easier to draw out of, so I'm going to keep it. My opponent didn't have the turn one Llanowar War Elves, and that's drawing land is pretty good. Now we could play, like, the only cards we can't play are other copies of Aether Depths and Frost Breaths, and Garrick's Companion, of course. Um, but this way, at least, he seems to have a slow start. Blood Ogre is really our biggest problem because of the first strike. But if we draw, like, an island, that'd be pretty good. So I think I didn't get to check his hand. I think he starts out on 6 lands too. So let's see what happens. The other thing is that I think this deck is a pretty good matchup against his deck because his guys are pretty crappy without the Bloodthirst. That's pretty good. So he's much more inclined to attack, meaning his guys are tapped, meaning our Frost Breaths become better, our Aether Depths become better. Here's a Manic Vandal, which is fine. I actually rather play this Coromor Folk. If he wants to attack, I'm not blocking. I know he has Bloodthirst, but that's what Aether Depth is for. Yeah. Here, I think it's better to Aether Depth here to have the other body on board. We have Frost Breaths, so they should be good. And hopefully looks like he's stuck on he's mana screwed because Gorehorn Minotaurs is 2 red and Chandra's Outrage is also 2 red. So here I won't play. Alright, so there we go. It's probably a Gorehorn Minotaurs. Okay, never mind. That's pretty good actually. If he would have played a Gorehorn Minotaurs, I wouldn't have Frost Breath. I would have waited. Because I just want him to play another creature, and I'd rather get more bodies on the board, so Frost Breath becomes even better. There I'm fine trading. And here I could play another Runeclaw Bear because it won't trade with the Llanowar Elves, but because I already have Coromor Folk on the board already, it's fine, really. Here I'll attack. He'll probably trade because I think his curve stops at 4. Not getting a second forest is hurting pretty bad. I'd love to have a Garrick's Companion on board. But at least this way, if our next land draw would be, that's fine. If our next land draw would be a forest, we could play Garrick's Companion and still have Frost Breath mana up. So here, like, this is what I mean with the deck, that it could just keep going and going and going, playing creatures and creatures and creatures. While he has some dead cards, like a Manic Vandal's really slow compared to Runeclaw Bear, Phantasmal Bear, and Fire Breathing is really only good against something like the Phantasmal Bear. Wow, 3 Frost Breaths. Unfortunately, Frost Breaths gets better with the more creatures you have. Like last game, we had 3 creatures, including Garrick's Companion. So Frost Breath was more like allowed me to get in for 7 damage. If I use it now, I only get in 4 damage, and he's at 12. So it's not the best use of Frost Breath. I'd rather wait till he has 2 creatures on the board, and then I could really start amassing creatures on the board just to make it that much better. So I think I like the position we're in. With Frost Breath, it makes things way better. It just leaves me safer. Oh man, that's not good at all. Um, Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Because now, like, we don't really want another land, but we do. That's an interesting attack. It's a very interesting attack. That's a little greedy, actually. Maybe not. Alright, so he has a 5/5. Here I'm just gonna Frost Breath. Yeah. I don't think he has much gas left. And we have others, so. And luckily we drew Garrick's Companion, which could at least trade with a Gohorn Minotaurs. And I could use this at the end of his turn. So, drawing that forest is pretty essential, and it makes other Garrick's Companions better, because I was thinking if we don't have this forest, drawing a Garrick's Companion is essentially drawing a blank until we get that forest. And even at that point, it might be too late. Okay, that's not good. Does he have follow-up? That's even worse. Here, I'm going to Frost Breath again. And he's down to 4 at that point. And I could actually just... That was a really good draw. And hopefully just Frost Breath for the win next turn. These guys stay tapped. He'll have... he has no cards in hand. I think we got this game. If he wants to attack, I'm fine with that. Manic Vandal is just not good. And the fact that this guy tramples over, it's actually pretty relevant. I'll tap at the end of his turn. It's fine. So yeah, drawing 3 Frost Breaths was pretty crucial. And yep, we got there, luckily. Frost Breath is just really good. I would have drawn another Frost Breath. Okay, that's good. So yeah, that was match 1, which we won, luckily.